Drew Christopher Brees was born on January 15, 1979, in Austin, Texas, into a family that valued excellence, work ethic, and perseverance. His father, Eugene Wilson Brees II, had been a standout basketball player at Texas A&M, while his mother, Mina Brees, was a respected attorney. The household was competitive, driven, and athletic to the core. From the beginning, Drew showed signs that he was different, not necessarily in stature or strength, but in determination. He was smart, focused, and incredibly competitive. He and his younger brother Reed would spend hours playing sports in the backyard, always pushing each other to the limit. Drew's parents divorced when he was 7, a difficult experience that forced him to grow up quickly. But rather than letting it derail him, he channeled the pain into fuel, finding solace and stability in sports. At Westlake High School in Austin, Drew joined one of the most successful football programs in Texas. But during his junior year, a devastating ACL injury sidelined him, casting doubt on his future in football. Doctors and scouts weren't optimistic. At 6 feet tall and coming off a major knee injury, Brees didn't fit the mold of a college prospect, let alone a future NFL quarterback. But when his senior season arrived, Brees came back stronger physically and mentally. He led Westlake to a perfect 16-0 record and a state championship, throwing for over 3,500 yards and 31 touchdowns. Still, major programs didn't come knocking. He was too short, too frail, too much of a risk. Only a few schools showed real interest, and Purdue University ultimately offered him a scholarship. Drew accepted, seeing it as a chance to prove everyone wrong. When Brees arrived at Purdue, he was buried on the depth chart. But true to form, he worked relentlessly. He studied film, lifted weights, and refined his technique. By his sophomore year, he became the starter and began rewriting the Big Ten record books. He threw for over 11,000 yards and 90 touchdowns during his college career, breaking dozens of conference records. Under head coach Joe Tiller, he helped transform Purdue into a nationally respected program. In 2000, he led the Boilermakers to the Rose Bowl, their first appearance in over 3 decades. Though they lost the game, Brees cemented his status as one of college football's most accomplished quarterbacks. But when the NFL draft came, old doubts resurfaced. He was still only 6 feet tall. He didn't have elite arm strength. Many teams passed on him, and Brees slipped into the second round of the 2001 NFL draft, where the San Diego Chargers selected him 32nd overall. In San Diego, Brees struggled to find his footing. His rookie season was uneventful. His second season as the starter in 2002 saw flashes of promise, but inconsistency plagued his game. In 2003, the Chargers went 4-12, and the organization began to lose faith in him. They used the first pick in the 2004 draft to select quarterback Philip Rivers, a clear sign that Brees' days in San Diego were numbered. But instead of folding, Brees rose to the occasion. That same year, he had a breakout season, throwing for over 3,100 yards and 27 touchdowns, earning his first Pro Bowl selection and leading the Chargers to a 12-4 record. Suddenly, he was no longer a placeholder, he was a star. Then, in the final game of the 2005 season, disaster struck. Brees dove for a loose ball and tore the labrum in his throwing shoulder. It was a catastrophic injury, one that threatened not just his career in San Diego, but his career in the NFL. The Chargers moved forward with Rivers, and Brees became a free agent. Few teams were willing to gamble on a 6-foot quarterback with a damaged throwing arm. The Miami Dolphins brought him in for a visit but ultimately passed due to medical concerns. The only team willing to bet on him was the New Orleans Saints, a franchise in disarray and a city still reeling from the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. In 2006, Brees signed with the Saints, joining first-time head coach Sean Payton. It was a pairing that would change the trajectory of the franchise and the city forever. At the time, New Orleans was still recovering. The Superdome had been used as a shelter during the storm. Homes were destroyed. Lives were uprooted. The Saints, who had never won a Super Bowl and had only one playoff win in their history, were desperate for a spark. Brees became that spark. In his very first season with the team, he threw for 4,418 yards and led the Saints to the NFC Championship game. The team's success was more than just wins and losses, it became a symbol of rebirth and resilience. Brees connected with the people of New Orleans not just on the field, but off it. He became a community leader, raising millions for relief efforts, rebuilding homes, and offering hope to a city that desperately needed it. Over the next decade, Brees established himself as one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. From 2006 to 2016, he threw for over 4,000 yards in 10 straight seasons, a feat unmatched at the time. He led the league in passing yards 7 times, passing touchdowns 4 times, and completions 6 times. His accuracy was surgical. His decision-making was elite. And despite his size, he stood tall in the pocket, delivering strike after strike with unwavering confidence. The pinnacle came in the 2009 season. Brees led the league in touchdown passes and passer rating, guiding the Saints to a 13-3 record. In the playoffs, they beat Kurt Warner's Cardinals and Brett Favre's Vikings to reach the franchise's first Super Bowl. In Super Bowl 44, Brees faced off against Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. He completed 32 of 39 passes for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a crucial fourth-quarter score to tie the game. The Saints executed a gutsy onside kick to start the second half, shifting the momentum. In the final minutes, Tracy Porter intercepted Manning and returned it for a touchdown, sealing the 31-17 victory. Drew Brees was named Super Bowl MVP. Tears streamed down his face as he held his young son on the field, confetti raining down around them. It wasn't just a championship, it was a moment of healing for an entire city. But even after reaching the mountaintop, Brees wasn't finished. He continued to break records year after year. In 2011, he became the first quarterback to throw for over 5,000 yards in a season, finishing with a then-record 5,476 yards. He would throw for over 5,000 yards 4 more times, a mark no other quarterback had reached even twice. He became the NFL's all-time leader in passing yards, completions, and touchdowns, holding all 3 records by the time he retired. His consistency, durability, and preparation were unmatched. Yet the latter part of Brees' career was marked by painful playoff exits. In 2017, they lost to the Vikings in the Minneapolis Miracle, a last-second touchdown that stunned the league. In 2018, they lost the NFC Championship to the Rams in a game marred by a missed pass interference call that changed the NFL's replay rules. In 2019 and 2020, they fell to the Vikings and Buccaneers, respectively, both times at home. As his arm strength declined, so did the Saints' postseason fortunes. Still, Brees kept fighting. His leadership never wavered. His preparation never dipped. His love for the game never faded. In 2021, after 20 NFL seasons, 15 of them with the Saints, Brees announced his retirement. He left the game with 80,358 career passing yards, 571 touchdown passes, and a completion percentage of 67.7%. But his legacy went far beyond numbers. He changed the narrative for undersized quarterbacks. He became the gold standard for consistency and professionalism. He helped rebuild a franchise and resurrect a city. And he inspired a generation of players to believe that you don't have to look the part to be great, you just have to outwork everyone else. After retiring, Brees transitioned to broadcasting and business, but remained deeply involved in philanthropy. His Brees Dream Foundation continued to support education, healthcare, and rebuilding efforts in underserved communities. He remained a beloved figure in New Orleans, a man who had come to a broken city and helped it believe in itself again. Drew Brees wasn't the strongest, the tallest, or the flashiest quarterback, but he was the most precise, the most consistent, and perhaps the most beloved. He was a coach on the field, a father in the locker room, and a warrior between the lines. His story is one of resilience, redemption, and relentless pursuit of excellence. He proved that greatness isn't measured in inches or draft status, it's measured in heart. And when the story of the NFL is told, when people speak of the most accurate, most reliable, and most inspirational quarterbacks to ever play the game, one name will always rise to the top. That name is Drew Brees.